Hello, friends. Welcome back to a game of no halves. It's me, Miles. Bob's here. He's got a beer in his hand, in fact.
Yeah, cheers,
get
Miles.
My beer as well.
Cheers.
We're drinking on the episodes now, apparently. So there we are.
Yeah,
but it felt
right.
Welcome back. This is the podcast where we go into Bob's crazy world of North London FC, the team that he has owned and managed and played as in the house for about 30 years that doesn't exist in real life. Until now.
Well, actually, it does exist. I've got all the stats to prove it.
That's right. So we left you last year, was the 2004-2005 season. And at the end of last episode, Bob, I seem to remember it was a successful year for you in 2004-2005.
Yeah.
Champions League, Premier League.
Yeah, all did good. So, in fact, I've gone into the stats and I've...
Yeah, go on.
I've just... Because we talked, didn't we, Miles, about reviewing Europe. And how the team has done in
what we
Europe.
said last time was there was an entire separate file of just the European stats, wasn't it? That we hadn't really come across until last episode. And here it is.
Yeah. So in total, since North London was founded...
And this is to present day 2023-24.
Right up to now.
Okay.
We've played 368 games in the Champions League.
Yeah.
We've won 234 of them.
Okay.
We've drawn 94 and we've lost 41.
Yeah.
We've scored 796 goals.
Okay.
And conceded 333. So we're actually conceding less than a goal a game.
Less than a goal a game. Yeah, that is impressive.
And we're scoring just over 2 goals a game.
Okay.
About 2.3 goals a game.
So
that's not too bad, is it?
Europe is would you say that's your favourite?
Yeah.
Like the Champions League is your favourite tournament?
I think so. Yeah, well, it's the ultimate test, isn't it? The thing is, though, Miles, that over the recent seasons, we've not been quite as successful nor as free scoring as previously.
Interesting. Ever since Wes Dexter retired, Bob, I reckon.
Well, 2002, 2003, in 18 games, because there were 2 lots of qualifying, 2 lots of group stage.
So 02-03, did you say?
02-03.
Yeah, okay.
We played 18 games.
Yeah.
We scored 48 goals.
That's more than 2 a game, isn't it?
That's way over 2 a game.
3 a game, right?
That's not far off 3 a game.
Yeah.
But this has come down. So, for example, now, last season, we played 12 games. I mean, we got knocked out in the last 16.
Yeah.
We only scored 21 goals. And previously, in the season before, that's 21-22, we lost 3 games in that season. In the 11 games, we only scored 12 goals. So that's only 33 goals in the last 23 matches.
I think
now that's very, very uncharacteristic.
European defensive, they've become aware of what your tactics are. Maybe
this is why
I've
so much upgraded the squad this season.
Yeah,
the last time we won the Champions League was 2021.
Okay, so what?
The time before that, 2018. The time before that, 2017.
Okay.
The time before that, 2013. And then, but we had this incredible run from 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003.
This is like Real Madrid recently.
We didn't win it in 2004.
Shocking.
But we did in 5, 6, 7, and 9, and 10.
Oh my God.
So we won it basically, what is that? About 8 out of 10 seasons. And we've won the Champions League in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 16 times.
16.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've
since
absolutely
1995.
demolished La Decima.
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
Yes, we have.
They're pale in comparison to you,
we
don't they? The Champions League is North London's tournament, really.
It is. That's where
you own the Champions League.
Yeah, and I try and, obviously the Premier League's very important and the domestic cups. But in my mind, it's the Champions League
the best,
and the World Club Championship.
The World Club Championship.
Those are the two.
Of course.
So I try and keep the team fresh.
Yep.
And build to gradually building up to the final of the Champions League if we get there. So
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff.
Yeah.
So real life, Bob, you're out on the road at the moment, aren't you? And you've just, in fact, I called Bob this morning because we record these podcasts every week and called you at 11:30 and you were still asleep.
Yeah.
After your tour date. What time did you get back last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were in Portsmouth last night at the Portsmouth Guildhall.
Yeah.
And I was telling the audience that I was there in 1971, comparing the T-Rex tour, that T-Rex-tasy tour, when Hot Love was number one, Jeepster was out, Get It On, they just recorded Get It On. It was such an incredible time. And the energy, basically, it was kind of like being around the Beatles.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just incredible. We after the show, we went back to stage and we hung out in the dressing rooms for a little while. And it really reminded me, because as we drew up to the Guildhall yesterday behind the building, that's where the cars were waiting to take us away after the show.
Yeah. So did you stay on with the band for the show and stuff as well?
Yeah. So 5 gas-guzzling Vauxhall Crestas, if you remember.
Vauxhall Crestas.
Big old,
wow,
humming away outside, waiting for us.
Yeah.
But we went backstage. Mark had invited some friends to join us and everything. And then we began to hear all this commotion going on outside the windows of the dressing room. And of course, what had happened was the whole of the auditorium had come round to the
because they saw the
stage
cars,
door.
did
They saw the cars.
Yeah.
They knew we were still there.
Yeah.
And they were waiting. and now the police had arrived, and they tried to form a cordon, arm in arm cordon, to keep the crowd back, to create a corridor. So that Mark, because I always travelled with Mark, always. He loved me travelling with him. They said, you got to go. It's pandemonium outside, So the police had formed this cordon. We were at the stage door. And the stage door opened, they went, go! And we went shooting out. Well, of course, it was pandemonium. The cordon broke, girls all around us.
Yeah.
And Mark was a little bit shorter than me. And I began to realize that right by my eyes, you could see all this flashing stainless steel. And it was scissors. It was girls trying to get a lock of Mark's hair, because he had this corkscrew hair.
Yeah.
And we managed eventually to get into the car. There were people on the bonnet, on the roof. The registration plates, windscreen wipers, everything had been ripped off the car.
Yeah.
And we were edging forward through the crowd,
Wow.
And I looked across at Mark, who was sitting in the back of the car, and he was in a lime green silk jacket and a feather boa round his neck, and he looked at me.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, and he just went, yes, like this. It was an incredible feeling.
Wow.
Yeah. So it brought all those memories back, being in Portsmouth last night. Yeah.
So did you sign Mark Bolan for North London?
No, well, he sadly passed away in 79.
Yeah, true. So that was before the club was founded, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Actually, I say 79. It was 77, I think.
Right.
So, yeah, but...
Well, there you go. I've been actually in the football world this weekend as well. So my job outside of this, I have a social media account called Expired Film Club, and I shoot stuff on all 35mm film. And right now, I'm concentrating on a lot of sports. And I was at the Salford Wrexham
surprise
League
result
2 game on Saturday, and Salford. It was funny because obviously both those teams are owned by celebrity owners, and they both had documentary film crews with them. So everyone was calling it the documentary derby.
The documentary derby. That's great. Rob and Ryan weren't they?
No. But Ryan Giggs, Roy Keane, and Gary Neville were all there from Salford, which was really cool. And Salford won 3-1.
Did you get any pics of them?
No, I was because
you've got a lens about as long as this house.
Yeah, I know. You know what was really annoying actually is this is the pitfalls of shooting with 35mm film in 2024. Second half, so Salford were 2-1 up at half time, and the second half got underway, and it was about 10 minutes in. I've got 2 cameras,
right.
So I've always got one going at one time, but one of the rolls of film ran out on the camera that had my wider lens on it, so not the big long one.
Right.
And Salford were kicking towards the end that I was sat at in the second half, and literally as I was about to go and change this roll of film, Salford score. And they're celebrating right in front of me, and I can't get it properly because I've got my huge telephoto lens on, and the camera with the proper wide lens has run out of film. So I had to grab I've got like a 3D film camera that had some film in it, and who knows how they came out, but it was so annoying.
Yeah.
They scored and were celebrating like literally right in front of me, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Miles's brother Dylan is in Iceland.
I know.
Seeing
Dylan Harris, a famous left winger for North London.
Absolutely. Seeing the what's it called, the Aurora, the Northern
Aurora
Lights.
Borealis. Yeah, he's been in the Blue Lagoon and everything. It looks
and
mad.
he was in the Blue Lagoon, and he was sending us on our family chat little clips
Very jealous of all that.
and photographs. I was on stage, and my phone, I could feel my phone buzzing all the time. But it's hilarious. It is hilarious, Miles, when I begin to explain a game of no halves to the audience, because now that, say, for example, Ramesh has said how much he loves it. Vernon Kay, Rob Beckett, they're all big fans. I was on Dermot this weekend talking about
Dermot O'Leary. I know. Yeah. Well, and Matt Lucas was on as well, right?
Yes, he was. And Matt Lucas, I mean, he and I had a big old chat because they're doing a fantasy football thing.
He's
as
an
well.
Arsenal fan, right? Am I right in thinking that?
Well, Dermot is, yes.
Dermot is, yeah. Matt Lucas, I'm not sure.
I don't know about Matt.
Anyway, yeah. Big result for Arsenal yesterday as well.
Yeah,
For us. Actually,
huge. Well, this was the other thing, because I'm touring with Colin Hall from Liverpool.
Liverpool fan.
Colin and I were backstage, and he was saying to me, "Tell me the score." And I'm going, "No, tell me the score." I said, "Colin, are you sure you want me to tell you the score?"
Yeah.
And he said, no, tell me the score. And I said, well, Liverpool have just had a man sent off, and it's 3-1 as we go into stoppage time.
Yeah.
And I mean, he slumped. He said, "I don't think I'm going to go on tonight." I said, "No, Colin, we can't not go on." He said, "No, you do the show."
it can't go on. Not just on stage, in life. Just can't go on.
Can't go on.
Yeah.
Woe is Colin. And so I persuaded him. And there we were, standing at the side of the stage. And we've got a couple of minutes, and I just phoned Miles to check something with him, and I got Miles on speaker. So Colin said, "Hi, Miles, how you doing?" And Miles, "Shame about Liverpool then."
Yeah, great result. I tell you what.
And Colin said that was a low blow.
I tell you what, you would not have got me and Freddie Haynes making the mistake that Van Dijk and Alisson did against Arsenal.
Is that right?
Oh no, not good.
Yeah.
You know what was really annoying, and I'm on the fence about this because I saw a few tweets about people saying the 3 p.m. blackout on Saturdays and stuff meant that the entire country couldn't watch one of the all-time great Premier League games, 4-4 Luton Newcastle.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree, but then again, I don't know. What do you think about the 3 p.m. blackout? Are you in favour of, or?
Well, you've got to keep some traditions, really, haven't you?
And I do think it means
still like the idea.
Fans will still want to go to the games a bit more.
And the vast majority of the matches in all the other leagues kick off at 3:00.
Yeah.
So Championship even, but certainly Leagues 1 and 2 and Nationwide League.
Well, I was at the League 2 3:00 kickoff for Salford Wrexham.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I was amazed by that scoreline, actually.
Yeah, 3-1.
Because Salford haven't been doing well this season.
I think the guys there were saying they're in about 19th or something, or they were before the game, and Wrexham were second, I think.
That's right.
So in that game, there was a goal direct from a corner, literally from the left-hand side. It swung all the way in to the far post.
Have you seen that little film of Erling Haaland, by the way, on Instagram, where he's got the ball in his hand? Somebody's chucked him.
Oh, and he smashes a volley in.
And he smashes a volley in from the left-hand touchline.
Yeah.
And it curves, bounces, and spins into the net.
I haven't seen that one.
He sort of drop kicks it.
Oh, okay.
It's spectacular.
Yeah, he's insane.
It's just so casual as well.
Now that he's coming back and De Bruyne is back for City, I think they're going to... I can't see them not winning the league, to be honest.
The defeat for Liverpool yesterday was an important one, I think.
It was a really bad performance by them as well, actually, which adds to it, really.
They would be 8 points clear. I know that Man City would have 2 games in hand, but, it's much better having points in the bank.
Yeah. I always think it's better to be the team in front rather than doing the chasing. Psychologically, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So it would have opened up a gap, and all of a sudden the pressure would have been right on Man City. Now, Man City have got it in their own hands. I know. I think De Bruyne being back amongst everything else is just going to mean they're going to walk it again. Yeah.
Anyway, we've been rambling on about stuff for a little while now. I'm sure the listeners are dying to find out what's happening in the next season that we're exploring on A Game of No Halves, which is 2005-2006, Bob.
Yes.
So, Champions League, Premier League double in the last season.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, there are some interesting transfers.
Okay.
We'll start with the transfers out because Robertson has left the club.
Okay.
I think he was a goalkeeper.
Yes.
He's gone for 7.3 million. Andrade, who you only signed last episode, has gone back again for 6.5 million.
Okay.
And Marcelinho has left the club as well for 3.7.
Yeah. The thing is that I always think that if a player wants away,
Yeah,
You have to let them go.
Maybe they went
because
somewhere.
they're not going to give you 100%. This was the thing also when I let Zidane go.
Yeah.
Did I want to let Zinedine Zidane go?
Yeah.
But he wanted to be with Real Madrid.
Well, Fergie was always about that with United. When
Yeah.
David Beckham wanted to leave,
Yeah.
no players bigger than the club. Are
No,
they?
that's right. So even with Zinedine Zidane, reluctantly, but you see, then the player will leave and it's a good vibe.
Yeah, because
Do you know what I mean?
As brilliant as a player is, if they don't want to be there, they're not going to be.
They're not
going to
everything.
are they?
So let's let them go.
Yeah.
And get in somebody else. You know, with the Zinedine Zidane, for example, he's worth a lot in the transfer market.
Definitely.
So let him go with all the will in the world, like Fergie did also with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Who played that extra season for United,
Yeah.
the sensational Ballon d'Or season, and then he left for Real Madrid. Well, it was a bit the same with Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah.
So, and of course, this is how I build up my transfer kitty.
Yeah.
Because Europe's absolutely vital in this.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's a little revenue section, which is a new introduction to the 2005-2006 season.
Okay.
Which says revenue. So you had a balance from the last year of £7.3 million.
Right.
It says here that because you won the Champions League, you got 25 million.
Okay.
Added to
That's
the
gone
kitty.
up to 50 now.
Well, yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
adjusted for inflation nowadays,
That's right.
it would be, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
back in 05-06,
Yes.
maybe that was about right.
Yeah.
Premier League, 10 million for winning that, which again, you'd imagine would be a lot more these days.
And you see, this achievement money comes straight to the manager.
Yeah, okay. Well, in your pocket and you just walk off.
For transfers. It goes
Yeah,
into
yeah,
the transfer
fair.
kitty.
Yeah, okay.
So all the other revenue streams, they go to the club. But
Right.
but achievement streams come to the manager.
Interesting, okay.
So
Yeah.
that gives me my transfer kitty.
So it's an incentive for you to do well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And then also from the transfers we just mentioned, you've generated another £17.5 million.
Right.
So transfers in. Everyone will be delighted to hear that after his brief stint away, Douglas Booker is back at the club.
Dougie. Yeah. Well, it didn't feel right to either party that he was with another club.
Yeah.
He's been North London through and through.
I know. So big up Doug. He's back in the team.
A bit like Johnny Evans.
Yeah.
Going away and coming back to
that's
United.
right. Yeah. You've also signed Barnard for 3.2 million. Explain to the viewers and listeners who Barnard might be.
Well, Mark Barnard. Mark Barnard is the husband of Trudy. We're now separated, Trudy and I, but she and I are really good friends, and one of our best friends together is Marie Barnard, and Mark is married to Marie, and so sometimes when we'd have a game in the garden outside, Mark would go in goal. Yeah. He's a big guy.
He's
and fit and just athletic, and so
So he's coming as a backup goalkeeper.
So he's coming as a backup goalkeeper.
Fantastic.
And then as time goes by, Miles, he takes over from you as the number one goalkeeper.
Well, there we are. So he's coming in for 3.2 million, and now this transfer, I think, will also delight football fans far and wide.
Okay.
And specifically, this actually is quite interesting in terms of what I'm doing right now, because I am a big sort of nostalgia football fanatic, and there's a great shop and social media account called Classic Football Shirts. They've got 2 stores and they sell vintage football shirts, and they posted a screenshot from the old PES 6 game on the PS2. Which you probably don't know much about, but I had it, and I think it's the best football game of all time. And on the front cover of that game was a player that you've just signed who was renowned having 99 shot power and being an absolute beast, and that is Adriano. Who's coming from Inter.
Yes.
I loved Adriano as a player. Again, though, similar in the Ronaldinho mould in that he's a bit of a party boy off the pitch, isn't he? So you're going to try and contain
and
that side of him.
very, very left-footed. Am I right
Very
about that?
But he had that left foot, an absolute
was lethal.
dynamite. Honestly, he could he could smash anything with that left foot. So he's come in as well, and you've still got 16 mil in the revenue.
It sounds relatively modest now, doesn't it? I mean, in this day and age,
he cost 37 million. Adriano.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays I've got a transfer kitty of like 215 million.
Prime Adriano now would be he'd be over 100 million, wouldn't he? Easy. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, it seems we're being beckoned down the tunnel for a half-time break, Bob. Should we hear from our sponsors?
No, wait, there's probably another minute of extra time to go. There was the injury to David Bennett.
I think maybe we should cut to the break.
Okay, right.
Into the season we go. I love this because you played a friendly against Alicante in pre-season, and it says in the notes, you win 3-0 with a Carew hat-trick, by the way. Balak, Aymar, Kaka and Adriano report for pre-season training to see Carew hat-trick and outstanding performances from Whitehead and Jamie Harris.
Jamie.
Yeah. Fantastic. So there we go. So that leads us into the Charity Shield, which is a 3-2 win against Arsenal. Sam Naylor with a goal. Big up, Sam.
These are all friends of Miles's or Dylan's.
Yeah, I know. Sam Naylor, who works for the Aston Martin F1 team now.
Yes, he does.
And Dylan himself got a goal, and so did Ben Harris, my two other brothers. So Jamie, Dylan and Ben all doing work in the pre-season tournament. But then we are into the league campaign, and we start off with a 2-2 draw against Fulham. So
okay, I mean, I have to say that it was a bit of a tradition to start slowly, not that it was intentional, but a lot of the players, would in one way or another, and particularly if we were involved in a World Club Championship and we went deep into that
You've got
championship.
Players, haven't you?
You got players that you've got to look after the players.
Yeah, to be fair, the pre-season was a bit shorter this year than others.
We didn't have the Mediterranean Cup, I don't think.
No, it was just a couple of pre-season friendlies, really,
Yeah. And you see, what we haven't done traditionally is go off on these huge energy-sapping world tours. I don't really believe in them. I know how important it is for revenue for a club, but I think it takes its toll on the players. I mean, if you're flying,
travel, flying,
flying to the
changes and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we try and keep the players in a bubble so that they're not sort of experiencing the time differences too much and all of that. But even so,
it would screw
and you
up,
go into the beginning of the season, you've already played 8 or 9 matches pre-season. I'm not sure. I think that it tells later on in the season.
Maybe.
You see, and if, like me, what you're after is going deep into the Champions League, then these pre-season games are going to affect you later as they get into the legs.
Yeah, well, there you are. So 2-2 with Fulham, 1-0 win away at Charlton, and then a 2-0 win at Sunderland. Means you sit in 4th after the first 3 games of the season. So a bit of an average-looking start, really.
Yeah, who's above me at this point?
So you have got Charlton, who clearly started the season very well, City and Chelsea.
Right.
And this is, again, we were touching on it last episode, this is really Mourinho era coming in now, isn't it, for Chelsea?
Yes, it is. And just to clarify, because a couple of people have mentioned the fact that I mentioned Chelsea last week. And I have to be honest, I mean, it wasn't Chelsea so much in the terms of Chelsea, the team.
Yeah. Because,
I mean, I remember back in the days of the early 70s where Osgood and, mind you, Chopper Harris. But, Chelsea were quite a glamour team. Kings Road, and then Glenn Hoddle managed them, and Ruud Gullit, and that era Chelsea I thought was exciting and quite glamorous.
Yeah.
It was specifically the Mourinho era, because when he did that slide down the touchline at Old Trafford, as far as I was concerned, he was a marked player.
I know, it was interesting him being United manager. For
it was. I thought it was I thought grey clouds gathered.
Well, that was the moment that he announced himself with that. Really,
yeah, he did. That was the moment.
Beating United at Old Trafford with Porto, and then they won the Champions League. Didn't they?
Wasn't it a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford? I've got a feeling it was, but we needed to win.
Yeah, and
I think it was Paul Scholes scored. I'm really off the top of my head.
Their goal, it was a free kick, and Tim Howard sort of spilled it, and it fell to somebody who put it in, and he was like 2 yards offside, by the way. So if VAR had been around, then it wouldn't have counted.
Yes,
but we're not bitter about this at all.
No, and anyway, I loathe VAR.
Oh, so do I.
Mean, games are what they are.
Yeah.
And the decision making now has been almost entirely taken away from the referee in big moments.
No, it's horrible.
And we've always sort of, we have a bit of a moan about the ref. He was 2 yards offside or whatever it was. But ultimately you accept it, knowing that over a period of time, everything balances out.
Yeah. And people are just human. And I think VAR doesn't remove any of the human element.
No,
really. I mean,
because then you got people in the van making mistakes.
I know. I just don't see the point.
I know.
It's it ruins the game, ruins the flow of the game, and
also, you said this, didn't you, Miles? We've got to a point now where you're worried about actually really celebrating a goal in case they review it and it's offside or something.
Which
or there's
sucks.
a nudge in the penalty area and it's disallowed.
Yeah, it's stupid. I know. Actually, because I photographing like lower league games. And it is really refreshing just being there and knowing that
Yes.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
What happens.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the first big win of the season, Bob comes away against West Brom 5-1.
That's
Ballack
right.
with 2. Crew with a hat-trick. He started the season off
Yeah,
very well.
yeah.
In fact, I wonder where Diego Tristan is. Maybe he's got an injury at this point.
I hadn't transferred him, have I? Does he
didn't
come in later?
Say you have. Oh, he does come back in.
He must have
so he
been
must have been
injured
injured at the start of the year. Yeah. So then a 1-0 win against Middlesbrough. Kaka with the goal and a 2-2 draw at Everton. First poor performance of the season. Struggled back from 2-0 down without ever finding any fluency, according to you.
Well, there's a bit of character there, wasn't there? Grit to struggle back.
No, right. So it leaves you in fourth. Charlton are still in second place, by the way. So they must have started this season. I don't remember that particularly.
Yeah. Does it list, by the way? Normally I list the injured players.
No,
so you got the squad.
Right now. It does in a bit. But no.
So just
maybe Tristan's just being rested because he's not in the squad.
Okay.
And then
just go through what the team is then at this moment.
All right. So for the Everton game, Barnard was in goal.
Yeah.
So I've been
Good
rested.
one, Mark.
You've got Whit-Smith, Hoffland, Cannavaro, and Bennett.
So Cannavaro is now playing as more.
Having said that, the previous game, the centre back partnership was Freddie Haynes and Jaap Stam. So you've got.
Whoa! What a partnership that is.
Yeah, that's.
Whoa!
So you've got Haynes, Stam, Hoffland, and Cannavaro as your 4 centre backs in this league, which is very good.
Fantastic.
Bedwell, who, as we touched on last episode, becomes a goalkeeper at some point, played in defensive midfield with Whitehead. So these are two players that played in Dylan's primary school football team.
Yes.
Romadal on the right, Dylan himself on the left, with Ballack in behind Carew. So I'd say you'd maybe rested some players in that game.
Yes. And you notice all the time what I'm looking for from that number 10 is long range shooting.
Yeah.
That ability to put the ball in the net for 25 or 30 yards.
Yeah.
And Michael Ballack had that.
Speaking of long-range shooting, Freddie Haynes gets himself a goal in the next game. Of course he does. 4-1 against Bolton Wanderers at home. Ballack with 2.
Yeah.
And Adriano scores his first for the club.
Okay.
Which is great news. Then another 4 goals scored against Newcastle in a 4-0 win. Kaka with 2, Dylan with 1, and Freddie Haynes has scored in back-to-back games. Yeah. And Diego Tristan is back in the team.
Good.
Partnering Adriano. What a strike partnership that is.
So what is that, 4-4-2 then?
So it's, it sort of looks like a... 4-1-3-2, I'd say.
4-1-3-2.
So me and goal,
So
Whit-Smith, Freddie Haynes, Jaap Stam, Bennett, Ramelow in defensive midfield.
Would be the holding midfield player.
With Fonseca right, Dylan left, Kaka in behind, Tristan and Adriano. That is
a formidable...
That's a nice team.
Wow, yeah.
That is a nice team. I do like that. And then after that, though, a 0-0 draw away at Aston Villa.
Wow.
Which means you are in third. Wigan are second now somehow. I don't know what's going on with this league table. But
Wigan?
Yeah, Wigan Athletic. Chelsea are actually already 9 points clear at the top of the table.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be, you're 10 points back from them, but you've got 2 games in hand.
Right. So just to explain again, in case you haven't heard it. North London is superimposed into the real league.
Yeah.
So all the other scores that are happening around me are real, and they go in. So the table is exactly as it was, but with North London in it.
Yeah.
So however I'm
irrespective
doing...
of other results, you're just there with your points total, aren't you? Yeah.
So I've got my points total. So my games, that all tots up. But say let's say I'm playing Man City and I beat them, but in real they win.
Yeah.
Those 3 points do go on to Man City's total. It was so complicated to try and do it the other way.
Yeah.
But 3 points go on to my total as well.
Yeah.
So in every way, the league table is what it would have been in reality, but with North London in it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So Chelsea top of the league right now. You've got some catching up to do, Bob. It has to be said.
Well, Mourinho, that era was.
Yeah.
I mean, and one of the things that you had to admire was the spirit he generated.
Yeah, and
Drogba probably. Was the,
they didn't lose a home game for like 4 years or something, did they, when he was in charge? It was crazy.
John Terry, and they were fighters as well.
Anyway, 1-0 win away at Portsmouth. It says after scrappy first hour, Ballack scores 60 seconds after replacing ineffective Adriano.
Yeah,
who, to be fair, hasn't been scoring a lot.
No.
It has to be said. Which is a shame.
It didn't really work out with Adriano.
Really? Now, the next game is a big one because it's against Chelsea at home.
Okay.
And it ends up in a 3-2 victory, 2 goals in the last 3 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
Win it for North London. Jamie Harris and Fonseca getting those 2 goals at the end. Kaka and Tristan missed chances, apparently. And then the following game against Arsenal is another win. It's 2-0, Freddie Haynes and Kaka, which means now you are 7 points behind Chelsea, but you've got 2 games in hand.
Wow.
So,
God, this is shaping
this is
up.
hotting up.
Yeah,
It is. Next game, home against Spurs.
Okay.
Kaka with a hat-trick.
Yes.
3-1.
Yes.
Spurs stay in the game to the 89th minute and offer exciting challenge despite sublime second-half performance from North London. Miles produces 3 world-class saves.
Of course you did.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Kaka, 3 world-class goals. So
yes.
me and Kaka, we're serving the team well.
Men of the match.
That's right. And then the next game is away against Liverpool at Anfield. It's a 2-2 draw. Fonseca and Dylan Harris with the goals. And then, this is new, there's an international cup game.
Is there?
I don't know what.
What is that then?
It seems like a one-off game, and it just says you're playing at Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo? Where? Does it say where?
No, but this is mid-December. This game is happening. So
would that be the World Club, for real World Club Championship?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, like the Club World Cup. There's only one game though. There's just
well,
one.
there was then.
Was there?
Wasn't there? Okay. Yeah. The South American champions against the Champions League.
Well, maybe that's what it is then.
Maybe that's what it is.
Anyway,
what was the score?
Well, you won 3-0, so everything's good. It says here, team comes alive on the big stage.
Of course.
Back outstanding in sensational first half performance. He got a goal, so did Kaka, and an own goal.
You see, I love that. Team comes alive on the biggest stage. That's always the mark of a great player or a great team, isn't it?
But it also means that you're now another game back in the schedule, obviously.
So must have 3 games.
So you've got 3 games in hand,
right.
and it means you drop down to 3rd. Mm-hmm. So at the minute, Chelsea played 17, they've got 46 points. Man United have played 17, they've got 37. Okay. You've played 14 and you've got 34.
Okay. So where are Wigan and Charlton now? Have they disappeared?
Let's have a look. Wigan are 7th and Charlton are nowhere to be seen in the top half. So I guess they've tailed off.
Do you know what I'm already worried about?
Bolton are in 6th though.
Are they?
Yeah.
That was Sam Allardyce's era, wasn't it?
Yeah, would they have had like JJ Okocha and stuff at that time?
Probably.
And
Bent.
Djorkaeff.
Djorkaeff.
They had some actually pretty good players back then. Kevin Nolan might have been around then as well.
Yeah.
Who was the centre-back that came? Hierro played for them for a bit, didn't he? And Ivan Campo and stuff. I'm getting massive throwback
Yeah,
vibes
really. Wow. Do you know what I'm worried about though, Miles?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 3 games in hand.
Yes.
That's 3 games I've still got to play.
Yeah.
I played this extra match in the sort of Super Cup. Mm-hmm. So burnout,
yeah.
Because the World
we've got the Champions League as well.
Championship is happening in the summer of 2006. Oh, so what's going to happen? How are my players going to do?
Goodness me, lots of fixtures this season.
Yeah.
And actually, talking of Europe, I'm going to go and grab the Europe folder now so that we can see how we're doing in the European season because we haven't seen that so far.
No, that's true.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob. Here you go.
Okay.
Let's reverse roles for a second. You can be the person that summarises the European season this time round if you'd like to.
Yeah.
So actually, we started the season with the European Super Cup, which we didn't see before.
Against CSK Moscow, which we won 3-0.
Yeah.
Then in the group stage.
Yeah.
3-1 away win over Club Bruges.
Very nice.
Kaka, Tristan, and Balak.
Yep.
I mean, just
the 3 dependables.
They run off. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
I think they're kind of this season seem to be your 3 go-to guys. Well, Tristan and Kaka last season were the ones that.
Yes.
You could always depend on them in the big games, couldn't you?
Then we play Rapid Vienna.
Yep.
Balak scores with a header.
Oh, so this would have been one of your crosses off the Poufet.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, must have been an accurate pinpoint cross.
Like
in the 24th minute, and then Karug, 32nd minute, nice. And again, I'm playing this 4-1-3-2.
Yeah, that was
formation,
which was your
unusual
formation
for me
last year. I think,
yeah, some good players on the bench.
You've got too many
well.
good strikers, probably, isn't it?
Yeah,
because when you got Tristan and Adriano and Carew.
So then we played. But Rapid, it says, spurn 5 clear chances. Oh. Kaka hits the crossbar 3 times.
Sounds like Darwin Nunez recently.
Open game, yeah. So
Darwin Nunez, did you see that game, by the way? He hit the woodwork a record amount of times since records began. He hit the woodwork 4 times in that game.
Did he really?
He is the most entertaining player to watch, I think, almost ever, because you've got absolutely no idea what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He could be 2 yards out and blaze it over, or he could just bang it in from 30 yards into the top corner.
Yes.
Anyway, go on.
So Bayern Munich away.
Oh, yeah, big game.
Big game, but we won it 2-1.
Nice.
Having dominated the first hour, Bayern take the lead with their fourth chance.
Oh.
North London lift their game to equalise and then produce a second half performance of the highest quality.
Very good.
Fonseca strike, contender for goal of the season.
Oh, really? Can you remember that goal?
No, I can't.
No, shame.
Oh, that's a shame.
We need to
isn't it?
put a camera on you playing games now, don't we? To make sure that we can,
So then, but then Bayern Munich come back to the Leamington Stadium.
Yep.
1-1 draw. And then we play Club Brugge.
Yep.
And we only win 1-0.
Okay.
Freddie Haynes gets the goal on the 84th minute.
Haynes.
Subdued performance achieves 100th European win.
Oh, nice. I mean, at the end of the day, group stage, doesn't matter. You got the result, you got the 3 points.
But then we got beaten by Rapid Vienna.
Well, this is one of your bogey teams, as we were finding out earlier, right?
It was okay, though, because, of course, we'd laid the foundation with the first three wins.
Finished top of the
but the last three games, 1-1, drew 1, lost 1, with a minus goal difference.
Well.
But we finished top of the group, Bayern Munich second, Club Brugge third, and Rapid Vienna fourth.
Well, so hold fire on that for now then, Bob, because we'll come back to it in real time. So just tell us who you've got in the knockout round.
Werder Bremen.
Werder Bremen.
Yeah.
Well then.
Yeah.
So in the course of the season now, obviously we are into the kind of what?
I'm just reading my.
What is it?
I'm just reading my summaries of the matches.
Okay.
How on earth? Anyway, we'll get.
All right, I'm looking forward to this.
We'll get to them in a second.
Brilliant. Okay, fine. Well, this sounds like some fun stuff to get to. So we're reaching Christmas time in the Premier League. 2-0 win against Charlton.
Okay, this is where the fixtures come fast and furious.
2-0 win against Charlton. 3-1 win against Man City. Carew and Adriano outstanding.
Well, this is before Man City got really good, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, it was. Carew with 2 goals, one of which was a header, and Adriano with the third.
A header?
A header. And then a 1-0 win away at West Ham, 89th minute winner from Fonseca. He pops up with some important goals, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
I didn't even know much about Fonseca, really, because he was a real player, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
We're going to have to look him up.
Yeah,
because
okay.
I can't really
if anyone knows about
Fonseca, then let us know.
Tag us on socials at A Game of No Halves. Follow us on socials anyway if you'd like to, because we post loads of other content around the episodes on there at A Game of No Halves, wherever you feel like following us. So going into the new year, Chelsea top of the league, 52 points. You're second on 43, but you've still got 2 games in hand.
Only 2.
2 games. So you're 3 points off the pace as things stand, really.
Yes.
However, it's going to get worse. Chelsea away. 1-0 loss. Team failed to overcome the loss of injured Ramelow to suffer their first Premiership defeat of the season.
Whoa.
And it's against Chelsea, the title contenders. That's a big result,
That
isn't
is a big result, yes. If we'd won that, we'd be back in our hands. But now they've got a lead.
They have,
Now.
Yeah. However, the bounce back is magnificent because it's a 6-0 home win against Blackburn. Carew hat-trick, Kaka with 2, Bennett with a goal from left-back. Says team bounce back from Chelsea defeat with awesome attacking performance. Carew hat-trick, he's really coming into his own as the season goes on.
Well, he's a big lad, wasn't he?
One of which from the corner, so I guess that was another header.
Yeah.
And then the following game away against Birmingham is a 5-1 win. Carew with another 2.
Wow.
Kaka with another 2, and Dylan Harris with 1. So going into the 14th of January, Chelsea have played 2 games more than you, but they are 12 points clear of you.
12 points.
So this is getting tough to get back from,
That's a big
isn't
lead
it?
now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see us overhauling that.
Well, you've got to put together a really good run of results, I think. Next game is a 3-0 win against West Brom. Tristan, Bennett, and Adriano. Tristan scoring his first Premiership goal of the season since the end of August.
Whoa.
Which is that's a big goal drought, you know.
Do you know that I keep thinking of that wonderful Jimmy Greaves quote.
Yeah, you've mentioned this on the show before.
Because obviously there's Diego Tristan, a bit of a goal drought there.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Greaves was asked if he ever suffered a similar sort of goal drought. And he said, yes, I did. It was the worst 42 minutes of my life.
Yeah. Well, Diego Tristan, clearly has been suffering from that a little bit. Anyway, next game away against Middlesbrough, 3-1 win. Freddie Haynes on the score sheet, but it does say routine victory marred by injuries to Ramelow and Haynes. Freddie Haynes
Freddie
injured. We don't want that, do we?
No, we don't.
Both players likely to miss 3 to 4 games.
You see, this is what I've been worried about, the burnout thing and injuries. We'll see how this affects the Champions League and everything.
Well, I haven't said all of that. The following game is a 2-0 win against Everton. Freddie Haynes has scored. He's recovered from a shoulder injury, according to your notes. So much for the 3 to 4 games out. He's a miracle man amongst everything else.
Yeah.
He can miraculously heal himself as well.
Well, no. I mean, doesn't that say so much for the medical staff?
Of course. Yeah.
I don't know whether you remember, Miles, but there was that lovely girl who lived in Whitby, Natalie, her name was.
Yeah.
Who would come over every because I was doing so much physical fitness in those days. I really was. I was doing my weights and I was doing all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
And Natalie worked at the gymnasium as a physiotherapist in Wantage.
Yes.
And then she went kind of freelance. And she would come over here to the house every now and again and give me massages and everything else. Well, she was the team physiotherapist. Of course she was.
So Freddie Haynes has just gone and got a cheeky massage off Natalie. And he's back.
Absolutely. Yeah. You see, she was a miracle worker.
Okay, fucking hell. That is brilliant. Anyway. You
see, the backroom staff, they're very important in any team, Miles.
Natalie's going to be a crucial part of the team, I think, going forward.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Anyway, well, I mean, she's worked wonders because he's back.
Yeah.
He's scored in the 2-0 win.
Scored a goal.
Bennett scores a 30-yard screamer against the run of play.
Yeah.
By the way, Simon, my friend who's in the squad as a left back.
Simon Astor.
Simon Astor, yeah. He texted me after the last episode saying he's absolutely fuming with David Bennett's form because it's keeping him out of the team.
It is. It is. Yeah. And you see, just as a reminder, the way that I visualized David Bennett, this goes back to what I was saying right at the beginning of our series.
Yeah.
And that is that I taught Pep Guardiola all he knows. Because the idea of inverted fullbacks joining midfield, but in the case of David Bennett, running on into the inside
I love the
left.
thought of Pep somehow gaining access to your computer remotely and hacking into your North London files.
No, he was watching the videos, wasn't he?
just thinking.
He had his experts, poring over my performances.
They put some secret security cameras up in the house to spy on you. Yeah,
absolutely.
maybe so. Maybe.
Yeah, and then they were taking notes. They upped everything. They upped everything, didn't they? Man City.
Yeah.
To they had to somehow bridge the gap between them and North London because we were so far ahead.
Yeah, true. Oh, God. Anyway, so going into it's 21st of January now.
Right.
Chelsea have played 24. They've got 63 points. You've played 23 and got 58 points. So
the gap is really close. So they must have lost a couple of matches.
Maybe they did. And, all those goals you've scored in the meantime have helped.
What is our goal difference? Does it say?
42 it stands
Plus
right now.
42.
Yeah. And
just the play. Well, and what's Chelsea's?
37. So,
okay. Yeah.
There we are. So then going into the start of Feb, 0-0 draw at Bolton. That's not good. Excellent.
Sam Allardyce.
Excellent defensive performance in midfield battle, it says here. And then another draw against Liverpool in the following game. Adriano hits woodwork 4 times. Yeah.
Because this reminds me of something.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the one thing that we were vulnerable against was the long ball.
Oh.
And so a Sam Allardyce type team would give us a lot of problems because we didn't have big height in the centre-back position. Where we did have height, occasionally it was John Carew or Diego Tristan. But they're up front anyway. So they maybe help us in corners. But we were vulnerable to the long ball and we were vulnerable at corners, curled in at pace into the centre of the penalty area, centre of the goal mouth.
Yeah.
Because their team, like Chelsea they had Drogba, they had physicality, and Bolton, my memory of it was that they had physicality.
Yeah. Well,
so they would cause
Kevin Davis, I'm sure would have been at some point.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
and they would cause us teams like that caused us a lot of problems because
that's actually the Salford-Wrexham game. That's kind of what Salford did to Wrexham.
Bombard them.
League 2. But no, they were just more physical. They just bullied them a bit.
Yeah.
And, at that level, it works.
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. But it did against North London as well at that point.
Yeah. And then finally in Feb, a 3-1 win away at Spurs. Kaka with 2, Carew with 1. Adriano is often missing from the scorers list, is what I'm saying at the moment, which is a shame because I love him as a player. But
we can look at the end of the season, how many he got in total.
We'll see how many goals.
So we're into February now.
So now we're going to be approaching the knockout round of the Champions League.
That's right.
So pray tell. So you got Werder Bremen in the last 16.
First leg, last 16.
Yep.
3-1 away win at Werder Bremen.
Nice.
Dylan scored. There was an own goal. And Diego Tristan just wrapped it up after 85 minutes.
Back into it,
Start brightly with 2 goals in first half. Bremen pull a goal back and miss 2 chances before Tristan seals victory following a brilliant run by Dylan Harris.
Oh, yes.
Down the left.
Jinking run.
Yeah, cross.
Yeah.
So then we go on to the second leg where we're playing at the Leamington Stadium.
Yep.
2-1 win.
Okay.
And Adriano does get the second goal.
Okay, good.
Ramelow returns after injury. Ballack opens the scoring with a brilliant 30-yard dipping shot.
You love a 30-yard dipping shot.
I love a dipping shot, particularly if it cannons in off the underside of the crossbar. That is the dream. Adriano scores first European goal for the club.
Wow. Yeah, it's not quite happened for him, is it, this first season? I hope you give him a chance, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So back into the league. Big game to get us back underway against Man United at home, and it's a 1-1 draw. Ballack with another goal. United took the lead with a Rooney goal after 53 minutes, apparently. Sunderland away, 5-2 win. Carew did them with 2. Hoffland from a corner. And Adriano's got himself another goal, so maybe he's playing himself into a bit of form here. We'll see. And then a 2-0 away victory against Man City. John Carew and Kaka leaves you in second place with the game in hand by 5 points. So it is getting tight.
It is. By the way, we've now learned that we're playing Juventus in the quarterfinal of the Champions League, and that's going to be at the beginning of April.
Juventus, that is going to be a big game. Who would they have had around there? Nedved, Del Piero. I'm thinking maybe that sort of time. Yeah, cool. All right, next game, home against West Ham, 2-0 win, Jaap Stam and Kaka, and then another 2-0 win follows that against Blackburn. Kaka with another 2, one of them a free kick.
Yes.
Which is great. And then Birmingham City, it's a big 4-2 win. Haynes, Adriano with a goal, Ballack with 2, and it says that there's several changes before the Champions League game against Juventus.
Yes.
So we'll be finding out what happens there shortly. Before that, he'd only scored 8 goals in the previous 6 games, which is light.
Well, that is also,
by North
to
London
be
standards.
absolutely truthful, what's been happening in Europe. Because, we've got the 3 away at Werder Bremen.
Yep.
But in the quarterfinal...
Ooh, what's going to happen here?
So we won at home against Juventus, but it was only 1-0.
Okay, well, you take it, I suppose.
And it was an own goal.
Oh, really?
After 35 minutes, After bright first half performance, team go flat in the second half.
Oh, no. Don't want that, do we?
No. So then we go to Italy. We beat them 1-0.
Okay.
With a Michael Ballack goal in the 82nd minute.
All right, well.
Kaka was actually came on as substitute for Kaka.
Yeah.
Aymar came on as substitute for Casaro.
Okay.
And Hoffling came on as substitute for Freddie Haynes. I'm obviously looking after Freddie Haynes a bit here because Hoffling came on in the 85th minute.
Yeah, and possibly you were tightening up ship.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
So semi-final time? Who are you against then?
Villarreal.
Oh, okay, they've done well.
Yeah, they
okay,
have.
So Villarreal in the semi-finals.
Yes.
So we'll come to that shortly. Before then, we've got a few Premier League games. First of all, against Newcastle, which is a 0-0 draw. And it says here, worst performance of the season. Fortunate to be level after dreadful first half.
Wow.
So... Scathing from you there.
There were times. It's like when you're doing anything, isn't it? I'd be kicking the ball around and I just couldn't get it under control, and I'd be missing passes. I just wasn't one of those nights.
Frustrating evenings work. Yeah. However, after that, Kaka gets himself a hat trick in the 3-0 win against Villa.
Well, you see about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir Alex Ferguson always said, "Okay, you can't go through a season without setbacks. It's how you come back off the setback."
Yeah,
and so I would always say to the team, right, we didn't play so well in the last match. Here's where we make up for that.
There you go. And clearly you did.
Yeah.
Says Kaka's hat-trick completed with the team's 50th home Premiership goal of the season.
There we go.
So there we go. And that leads us now into the semi-final of the Champions League. Villarreal then, Bob.
Yep.
Big game.
And we begin, as is our form in Europe at the moment, with a 0-0
0-0
away draw.
A surprising amount of 0-0s.
So now we've only scored 8 goals in the last 6 European games.
Wow. That is a surprise, to be fair, actually.
It is. Is this about to change in the second leg?
Is it?
Well, it didn't look like it to start with because Fonseca misses penalty after 32 minutes.
How was the penalty awarded? How do you miss? So, would you have just missed the target? Taking a
I put a chair. So, see the chairs there, Miles. They've got that bar across the middle.
Yeah.
Now that's the goalkeeper, basically. If you think about it. So if I don't get
it's
it
like a foot
under
rest.
or
So
over,
like right now, if I'm resting my foot on the chair here, that's that bit of wood
that bar is the goalkeeper. Yes. So I've got to get it under or over him. And of course, always I'd like to go for the spectacular. Yeah. So I'd try for the top left or top right-hand corner. Yeah. And so if that didn't work,
I'd
miss the penalty after 32 minutes. But then North London go 3-0 up and begin to cruise.
Well, there you go.
But Villarreal come back into the game with 2 goals in 6 minutes before Tristan bundles in from close range to secure place in the final.
So 4-2 was the score.
So the final was 4-2. Yeah. Dylan Harris, Freddie Haynes, own goal. And Diego Tristan,
Oh, Freddie Haynes.
Yeah.
Freddie, if you actually listen to this podcast, by the way, and are aware of it, please reach out because we'd love to hear from you and to see how absolutely insane you think Bob might be for having you in this team for all these years. Anyway, so back into the league. 7 changes in the Champions League semi-final for a game against Fulham, which you lose 2-0.
Oh, my goodness.
It says here, Chelsea beat Man United 3-0 to effectively clinch the title.
Wow.
So they've played 36. They've got 91 points. You've played 35 and got 83. So it's going to take a miracle, really.
Yeah, no,
Unfortunately, it is. The last 3 games of the season, it's a 3-1 win against Portsmouth, Diego Tristan with 2, Fonseca with 1. It's a 3-1 away win against Arsenal. Dylan Harris, Freddie Haynes and Tristan. Outstanding performances from Dylan and Haynes and confirmation of return to form by Tristan, who he's also, it's funny, a lot of your strikers have not really been scoring this season because Adriano's not done it. No. Tristan doesn't seem to. I think John Carew's been quite good.
Yes, but a lot of goals from midfield.
Yeah. So this sets us up for something very exciting, though, because it says, with Chelsea losing to Blackburn, North London have to win final game to clinch title. So I think basically what has to happen is I think that Chelsea have to lose.
Yes.
And you have to win the final game of the season, basically, to clinch the title.
And what happens?
Well, it's a quite incredible end to the season, ladies and gentlemen. So you're playing Man United away for a start in the final game of the season, which is a huge game to end on. The final score is Man United 4, North London 4. Ballack, Adriano, and 2 from Dylan Harris. It says, team come back from a goal down 4 times. Fantastic draw, not enough to win title, despite Chelsea defeat to Newcastle. So if you'd won the game, you would have won the title.
Oh, that's incredible.
And you couldn't quite do it. Dylan Harris scored in the 86th and 92nd minute, and you just needed one more, and it just didn't quite happen.
That's incredible.
And you end up losing the title by a single point.
Wow.
Blimey.
Wow.
What a season. Oh, my God.
Yes.
So there we go. So that's the end of the league season. Second place, 90 points you got in that league season. So to come second is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
Anyway, Champions League final. Is there redemption?
Well, this is an incredible match. So we're playing Barcelona.
Okay. Wow.
And they take the lead.
Okay.
In fact, they go 2-0 up.
Yeah.
Both teams hit woodwork twice before Eto'o scores twice in 2 minutes.
Samuel Eto'o. Wow. This is
Kaka goal before half-time, vital.
Yes.
North London score within 5 minutes of Barcelona taking 2-goal lead.
Yeah.
But then Barcelona missed 2 clear chances in the last 5 minutes of a brilliant game.
Yeah.
9th win in last 12 finals ends week when Ballack leaves for Chelsea.
Ballack's leaving?
Yeah,
oh,
so
no.
the final score, North London 4, Barcelona 3.
Wow.
Kaka hat-trick and Diego Tristan.
What a game.
Wow.
What a way to end the season.
So the
Goodness
overall
me.
European scorers, Kaka got 6, Tristan 5, Ballack and Freddie Haynes 4 each, own goals 3.
Wow, they contributed a lot.
Carew 2, Dylan 2, Fonseca and Adriano 1 each.
So wow.
This season, we played 14, won 11, drew 2, lost 1, scored 28, had 13 goals scored against us. And our overall situation...
This is in Europe, is it?
Yes. Played 160 matches, of which we'd won 106 of them. So that's not bad, is it?
So, Champions League. I mean, not bad, really. Finishing second to Chelsea.
Yep.
In terms of overall top scorers for the season, Bob, Kaka finishes with 30. What a season from him.
Yeah.
21 in the Premier League. Ballack in second on 17, and he's off to Chelsea. Oh, that's going to be a huge loss, actually.
Well, you see, this confirms what has to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, because in real life he would have moved.
Yes.
So, yeah.
If he goes to another Premiership or Premier League team,
you got no
I
option.
have to let him go.
Yeah.
That's how come Man City got Erling Haaland and Man United got Casemiro.
So John Carew finished with 16, Tristan with 14, Freddie Haynes and Dylan with 11. Adriano's debut season falls flat a bit. He finished with 8 goals.
Yeah, it's not great.
I wouldn't say it's
so do I let him go? I bet you are going to let him go.
Well, we'll find out next episode.
Yes.
Because that's where this season ends.
And I have a feeling 2006, the summer of 2006,
2007.
the World Club
Oh my
Championship.
goodness! So there we are then. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, what a season, Bob. So in the current day in 2023, 2024, North London, since we last spoke,
6
anything
points
much
clear.
happened?
6 points clear.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, so
everybody else has been dropping points, but I just feel that it's Man City are going to come on the outside, as it were, and they're going to be the biggest challengers. But I am determined to win the league this year.
There you go. Well, that's about it then. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Be sure to tune in next time because I think the 2006 World Club Championship is going to be special.
It really is.
If you're not following us on socials, by the way, guys, at A Game of No Halves, you can follow us wherever you'd like to. We're also going to be posting full-length video versions of the podcast on YouTube. Again, just search for A Game of No Halves podcast on YouTube, and that'll be coming out very soon indeed. If you're not subscribed as well on podcast platforms, please do that. It really does help us out. And if you can give us a 5-star rating because you're loving the podcast, that'd be amazing. I think that's about it there, Bob. Any parting words for the audience before next time?
I can't wait to discover whether it is Kaka that's the star of the 2006 World Club Championship.
Well, we'll find out soon.
If it is, it's really special, I tell you.
Okay, well, we'll leave you on that bombshell. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you for another episode of A Game of No Halves with Miles and Bob very, very soon. Until then, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.